Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about selling rate and buying rates. When at currency exchange, the banks have two different rates. They have what their selling rate is and their buying rate. So the sell rate is the money they're selling you at a certain type of currency, right? What the value is, and then they're buying it back at a different rate. So why would a bank set their buying rate up so that it is lower than their selling rate? And it's very simple, you guessed it, to make money of each transaction. They're not going to do it, transaction. So they're not going to do that just to be nice, obviously. They're there to make money. So they do that to make money of, so maybe the bank does this to make money off each transaction. That sounds better. So they're not doing that, obviously, to be nice to you. They are making the money. That's one of the ways they make the money. Okay? Their money, I should say. Buying and selling rates for currencies. Probably not a whole lot right now in the current state we're in, but nevertheless, the rates are there. So, back on November 1st, 2002, the selling rate at one bank for American dollars was 1 Canadian dollar is equal to 0.6213 US. How much would a customer have to pay in Canadian dollars on this day if they wanted 400 US dollars? So let's do that calculation. So I have it set up 400 Canadian dollars, 400 US dollars, and we're converting that Canadian dollars. So we're going to divide. So in Canadian, that's going to cost you 400 divided by 0.6213, which equals $643.81. $643.81 Canadian. Alright, so that's what it's going to cost you. You go into the bank, you want 400 US, it'll cost you $643.81 Canadian. On, of course, almost 20 years ago, 19 years ago, 18 and a half years ago, November 1st, 2002. Alright? Let's check back 5 years later, November 1st, 2007. The selling rate at the same bank is now 1 Canadian dollar is equal to 1 US. So there's one of these times where the money, the Canadian dollar, is worth more than the US dollar. Wouldn't that be nice? So we'll take the 400, we're going to convert it this time, and it's going to be 1.0722. So we're going to take that, we're going to divide it this time. So it's going to be less than 400, obviously you guessed it, since it's worth more, $373.06. $373.06. And that's how it fluctuates. So 5-year period. Yes, would have been great to, if you have lots of money, to maybe take a gamble when the money was high and then hoping it would go down. But of course, you would have to have money to invest. And again, predicting these is that's out of my realm, to say the least. Okay. All right, next, example number 7, calculating buying and selling rates. So Anna goes on a trip to Italy. She pays $987.41 for 650 euros. What exchange rate was the bank offering when she completed this transaction? Is this a buy or sell rate? So let's talk about this. So here you can do this. It's kind of like, think of it as a unit price. So I'm going to convert it to 1 Canadian dollar. So what I'm going to need to do is to figure out how many dollars it is per Canadian dollar. What I'm going to do is I will divide the 650 euros by the Canadian amount. Oh, 987.41 Canadian dollars, right? Okay, Canadian dollars. So what this allows me to do is, if I divide this, now remember, because the Canadian dollar is in the denominator, what's going to happen here is it's going to be per 1 Canadian dollar, right? Now you could do it either way. I showed you that before, right? So you could have had it per European, per euro. So you could have taken the Canadian dollars and divided it. It's just it's with respect to $1 either way. So since we're in Canada, we'll put it as per $1 Canadian. So the exchange rate is, we go on a calculator, 650 divided by 987.41, and we get 0.6582 828, so that'll round that up to a 3. So I'll go 4 places after the decimal, and that's how many euros per Canadian dollar. So that means that $1 Canadian dollar is equal to 0.6583 euros. Okay. And if you look up at that previous chart we had, up in the example number 1, you know, pretty close, right? So you know you're on the right track. All right. And again, you could have did it the other way. So if you did it the other way, you would just take the reciprocal, and you would take the 987.41, and you divide it by 650, and you get 1.519. Again, that would probably be like a rate that you would see if you were in one of the European countries, like Italy, for example. They would show the rate as one euro equaling 1.51. So wherever you're usually at, it'll say the one for your current place. So we usually have everything in respect to $1 Canadian equals whatever it is, right? Because you want to know what your money's equal to, not what their money's equal to in yours, if that makes sense. Okay? So this is what's called a sell rate. So this is the question. Is this a buy rate or sell rate? No, this is a sell rate. You went to the bank and they sold you the euros. You gave them the Canadian money and they sold you, right? So that's the selling rate. Okay? Because you're here in Canada. When you return from your trip, when Anna returns from her trip, she exchanges the 80 euros, that must have been money left over and unspent, for 132.53. So this is obviously the buying rate, right? So the bank's going to buy the money back. All right? Let's check out the buying rate. Okay? So we'll do the same thing. You want to be consistent here. So again, you want to with respect to $1 Canadian. So what you're going to do is I'm going to steal this and I'm going to change the amounts. So the amount you had left over was $80. They gave you in return 132.53. So we go to our calculator and we divide the two. Take 80 divided by 132.53. We get 0.60363. So we'll leave that as a 6. So that means that $1 Canadian is now only equal to 0.363, right? So your Canadian dollar is worth less. Now, again, the rates do change, but remember, the buying and selling rate on the same day, the buying rate is going to be better, right, for the bank. If not, they wouldn't do it. Okay. Let's look at the last and final example for 8.2. It says calculating buying and selling rates for online shopping. Shopping online for a new motorcycle helmet brand, found the following 3 options for the exact same helmet. $279 US plus a shipping and handling fee of 2% and another 7% fee for duty. Alright. 20,000 yen plus 2,500 yen shipping, handling, and duty. And then Canadian, $380 plus 15% tax with free shipping. Now I'm going to do this with respect to Canadian dollars, for the simple fact that we're here in Canada. So we're assuming Brandon's in Canada and he's buying a helmet, and there's 3 options here. He's going to pick the better of the 3. So we'll do the cost of it in US dollars here. So that's going to be the US dollar amounts, and then we're going to multiply that 1.09. So I've added 2 and 7 and got 9%. So So I've taken 1 and added 9% to it. So I'm going to multiply that by 1.09. So 279 multiplied by 1.09, and we get 304.11. 304.11 in US dollars, right? So now we'll convert. So X Canadian dollars is going to equal 304.11 US multiplied by, right, your brackets, and your conversion factor. Remember, 1 Canadian dollar is equal to the US dollar amount of 0.79509. I'm just using what's in the chart there, and that's going to be equal to 79509, $382.49. All right, to the door. Okay. So I had to add in the Japanese yen. Looking at the conversion, it wasn't, this is actually Japanese yen, so we're going to add that into there. All right, I'll fix that on your sheet, and I'll put this in yours as well. I do apologize. So when we take the 22,500 yen, Japanese yen, divide it by 88.92, that's the conversion factor per dollar. You get 253. Oh, you get 253.04 Canadian dollars. All right. When you put the dollar symbol there, you just put the Canadian. It's up to you. Canadian, right? All right. And then obviously this is going to be the cheaper option, right? So the cheapest is the Japanese yen. You don't even got to calculate that, but I will do the calculating anyway. So I'll steal this. The Canadian cost, right? The Canadian cost would be equal to 380 Canadian multiplied by 15%, so 1.15, and you get $437. $37 Canadian. All right. I know we didn't have to do that, but that's the option. So the best one is or the cheapest is the Japanese yen. Again, quality could be something you look for, maybe shopping local, who knows, but significant savings by ordering the Japanese yen. Okay, it wasn't the Chinese yuan here. I looked at the conversion factor and I was like 4,000, so that didn't make sense. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. I'll have to check, but I just added that Japanese yen into your chart. All right, so that's it for the 8.2. There's an extra practice sheet if you want to do some examples as well. In the next video, we're going to look at 8.3, wages and overtime. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk again soon.